So I thought I'd make a video, kind of updates, my thoughts. This is just going to be a discussion about a few different random topics. And I got a job, went to orientation from like 11:30 to like 2 o'clock, I think it was, or 1:30. And had all these robots. There's only like 5 people in the class, and I start working third shift from 9 to 6 in the morning, and going to be making like 15.65 or 15.80 or something like that, which is not bad. I can't complain. $15 to me an hour is still a lot of money. At 40 years old, I don't feel like it's just quite enough like it was. I still feel like it's a lot, but not like when I was 27 making $15 an hour. Like $15 an hour when I was 27, I thought I'd be rich. It's like I was like, damn, I had a college. I was supposed to get a college degree to make this kind of money. But yeah, that's what I'm making 7 days a week. So we'll see how my body sort of adjusts to standing up, working with these robots and sparks and whatnot, and I think it'd be pretty cool. I think that for me to kind of adjust, because I'm really disappointed I haven't been lifting weights, or doing some sort of physical activity. I feel like I never really thought in my life I'd ever be to the point where I'm like, oh, I got to join a gym class, because I was so independent of myself of doing things. But I feel like go to like a boxing class, because it's real extreme, repetitive, really good agility workout to tone up my body. And I'm really old now. I smoke so many cigarettes that I'd get tired in just a few punches. But see how my heart pumps, really lose a lot of fat on my body, and retain more muscle, because everything starts to go south, the chest and all body parts, because of age, saggy skin and whatnot, but I think it's important. I thought I wanted to talk about that, like I gotta join like a kickboxing class would probably be really good, because I can, or like even just soccer. Maybe I'll do that, like join a soccer team or something, like some athletic, play some soccer, adult soccer. Yeah, like I've never eaten like this before, and all I got is one test left to complete it. And it sort of brings this whole idea, juggling ideas. The world that I'm living in the last probably 3 weeks, where I ate meat. I ate different kinds of meat. Different kinds of beef. Fajita, thin sliced steak. And I hadn't eaten meat in a long time. Before that, it was about 2.5 weeks ago that I ate, or 3 weeks ago that I ate at Yucatan, a hamburger. And I hadn't eaten a burger in over, I hadn't eaten pork in an even longer time. And now I mix it up to see how my body does. It is okay for me. The way I look at it is that it's good to see how my body is able to retain a lot of mixtures of food, because I'm always eating tend to be a lot of the repetitive same things, a lot of Subway sandwiches with all the same vegetables and stuff. And the only time I really get to mix things up is, it feels like a smoothie. That's all I would be doing, smoothies, and I haven't been able to do that combo yet. Where I'm getting Subway sandwiches and I do my juice and my Subway sandwich, my juice and my Subway sandwich. Because I'm not so much of a lavish eating person. I like the nutrition parts, and where I like the glories of taste would be like a small dessert, something just small so you can taste. Something that's very delightful. You taste the delightfulness of the creation of a simple piece of pie. Everybody knows, you drink too much soda, you drink too much candy, you get tired of it, or you eat too much of something, and it wears down to taste, where it doesn't taste as good as it did before, and it's the same thing. So to keep it fresh, and to see how my organs, how do I feel. I do notice that, there's more like veins. Like right now, I just ate at the Golden Corral. I ate a lot of meat, and I focused on the meat, not on the vegetables. And I noticed that there's a lot of there's a pulp. And it always does it usually when there's meat and protein. It seems like something that's. Anyway, yeah, I thought I'd make a video. Thought I would make a video of that. But as far as I feel, the way that everything, it is just much more cleaner when you eat. When I feel like the vegetables and the waters, and I don't think I'll probably stop eating meat altogether in my life. I know, like, I did recently some research, and they said people in Japan live the longest, saying that their health expectancy is the longest in the world, and it's because of their diets. Mediterranean is supposed to be the healthiest as well. Just because a country lives the longest doesn't mean also they're the healthiest, because you still got cancers and all these other diseases and stuff. Like the Mediterranean is supposed to be the healthiest, which is so much common sense to me, because it's like the water, the ocean, the breeze of the air, the soil, the rich oxygen that blows across the cliffs that makes the olives unbelievable nutritional value go up the roof. It's the climate that it's located, the temperatures all year long consistently, the ozone, how it's filtered and cleaned out consistently through the vortex and cycles of the waters of the shores and whatnot, just where it's located. But so I know like fish be a very good consistency, but it does feel like a cleaner. I feel like I get more muscle, more mass. That's what I do feel. I feel like I could bulk up eating steaks and stuff like that, but I just feel that it's a cleaner feel with beans, rice, like beans and vegetables and fruits. But I don't know the numbers of combinations. I know that there's benefits you can eat. I was actually trying to look for some steak over at Golden Corral, but they didn't have any steaks. They didn't even have any ribs either. And I'm not a big fan of pork. I grew up eating ham, 2 slices of ham. So 3 slices of ham every day, and 2 sandwiches, and 2 pieces of cheese, and on wheat bread, and I put some mayo, some mayonnaise, and that's pork, and because it was a little bit of protein, but I'm not a big fan of so much of eating so much of that, just because it's one of the probably less healthier. But I made me some sandwiches so I could kind of wake up. I kind of get used to kind of remind myself of the days of, taking care of myself that way. A little extra effort to make things better. But so I thought I was just kind of wanted to jibber, jabber, and talk, and I definitely feel, the vegetables and beans. I had some beans earlier that I really wanted to make, but I overcooked them, and I didn't want to eat them. I overcooked them on accident. I don't know if it was, I don't know. I thought the timing of it was pretty good. I don't know, but I overcooked it a little bit, or undercooked it. The beans weren't actually all softened yet, and I put the other vegetables that are already cooked, and then it overcooked. Like the other food that was already pre-cooked, and so I had to cook it another whole 45 minutes or some shit. and so they overcook it and give it taste that well. So anyway, so it just does, and I think over a long run, how I feel physically, I think it just feels cleaner. You know, it feels like you're able to get a lot of the toxins. I do a lot of smoking, like very heavy smoking. And it's a shame, you know, because cardio is something I used to like doing a lot. You know, just because I just like outdoing people when I was a kid. I wasn't ever a very big kid. I was always very skinny. But I like the idea people would get tired before I would. Yeah, so the circumstances is, you know, gonna head out to Violet on what to expect. I got 2 weeks. I'm almost about a little over 2 weeks out until I get there, and I haven't even found a place. I have to, you know, start messaging some people, or just once I get there, live at the shelter, you know. But I'm gonna definitely start messaging people here probably in about 5 to 7 days for sure, and just start blasting out emails and see who has a place. But it gets very dragging when I have to get up in the morning and make me shit, and not like, you know, because I'm not able to sort of, there's a certain type of way that I liked always doing things when I was working out and being very functional. And when that sort of method is taken away from me and somebody else is doing some other shit to me, then I feel like I just don't feel, you know, it's you know, it's like it's preventing me from working out. And, you know, there's a lot of downfall that I believe that the people you think that are actually helping didn't really help. And you're really making this, you know, this is the lack of intelligence that my mother isn't going to ever understand, because you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit like my mother does. You think my mother wants, you know, me to be all some slob, fat, ugly looking person? What do you think is going to affect more, even if she's not there no more mentally? Oh, let's just help Sarah Cooper and her kids. You know, it's just a forgiveness time. No. And you bring me down and you do all this other shit. Anyway, yeah, so looking forward to go out there. Don't know really what to expect. I just really hope that it'd be suitable for me to get into this GED, get this completed, because I want to feel like what it feels like to just roll into something, you know, into a community college, just to take a class, you know, like I have a certificate, I have a degree, I have an equivalency, I can go higher my education, because I've always lived mentally. Mentally, it's always been like a brick wall. It's always been like I can't do anything until I get that. It's always been like that for me, always, because it's when you want to go do something else in life, you know, that has to be completed. You know, like there's so many different things that you can do with a high school diploma. You know, you could try this, you can try that, you can do this for 3-week certificate. You can, you know, take cooking classes for a few months. There's a lot of different directions you can take. Go to DeRai, you know, you can. There's so many different, but you can't. Without a high school equivalency or GED, you can't do anything. I mean, there may be a cooking class, and maybe just a few things you can do to higher your education, to like actually do things that are interesting, that exercise your brain, you know, things that are, you know, makes you be like, oh wow, that's pretty cool to learn, you know, learn how to make websites for 6 weeks, you know. It's like, oh wow, I didn't know all this other stuff, you know. And even, you know, even if it's a short period of time, yeah, so that's kind of what's going on. Don't know what to expect. I need the money really bad, because I have to work on these projects, and I get agitated when I'm not, you know, this whole time right now, if I had the money, I would have been buying all these projects and finishing them out and sending it to friends. But I was only in the look. It's already been. I've been here since like last week of May, like the last 10 days of May. So it's June, July, August. June, July, August. I was here for 3 months and I finished with 3 projects. And last probably month and a half, I wasn't able to finish very much of it. And I have all these other projects. I want to send these miniature DJ gifts and put them together and something I sent to Richard Murphy to all the friends I have, and clear that out, finish that, and but yeah, I got to figure out what my plans are going to be, because I got a lot of shit, it's very hard when you lose when you realize your mother was trying to give you something and she didn't give you nothing at all because somebody took it away just for fun, and they gave it to their kids. That's what they fucking did. And they didn't do that with my sister. No, it was about Kenneth, and it was everyone else that did it, and it was people think, and the psychologists think, that this is a bitter rival. This is like I could fucking teach a class on how conniving and backstabbing and trifling this motherfucker was, and his family, and what was going on. But because some people are set in royalty statues and positions, and so many people, it's like Michael Jackson. He could have really fucked some little kids, and nobody would have ever fucking believed him because he knew he could get away with it. Fucking, it's very terrifying. It's very unfair because there's very little existence of what really that was. And because they just sort of do block formations and be like, oh, you see, there's your house and you're happy. Yep, you see there's family and kids, and then that's happy, and that's how just that goes. And that's full of shit, It's just like, it's like you could tell somebody, oh, I've had a hard life and all this other shit. And you talk about, hear what some of these other people went through, and no, that's a fucking hard life. But the person that talks about how hard life there were and what they went through don't know how to express that pain. For someone that knows how to elaborate very well, will elaborate that shit like it's the end of the world for them. And that really wasn't it. There was no pain. There was Christmas gifts, you got money, you fucking stuck your nose in the fucking air everywhere you fucking went, you're fucking white, you think we don't have it easier over here. It's upsetting, but you have to. That's why I kind of go, probably start going to church, or every once in a while at least, kind of catch up on this, because especially it's so bad because nobody gives a shit, and that's why they do it. So yeah, I'll make another video, some other topics I wanted to talk about, but